He came home early that day. He wasn't supposed to, and what he saw changed everything. An elderly woman on the floor, a younger woman standing over her, heels still raised in the air. The younger woman turned slowly. Her face was blank, empty. "I'll kick her again, and you'll still marry me." And for a moment, he believed her. If you want to see how this twisted story ends, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what happens next, you won't see coming. I promise. His name was Marcus Chun, 42 years old, self-made billionaire. Real estate empire that stretched across 3 continents. The kind of man who could buy anything. Except time, except peace, except a way out of the life his mother built for him. Marcus didn't come from money. He came from a 1-bedroom apartment in Queens where the heat didn't work and the neighbors fought through the walls every night. His father died when he was 12. Heart attack. Couldn't afford the medication. And his mother worked 3 jobs to keep him in school. Cleaned office buildings at night. Took in sewing during the day. Sold homemade dumplings on weekends. She didn't sleep. She didn't rest. She didn't complain. She just kept going. And Marcus watched. He watched her hands crack from a cold. He watched her fall asleep standing up on the subway. He watched her cry once, just once, when the landlord threatened to evict them. And he made himself a promise. One day, I'll take care of you. One day, you won't have to work. One day, I'll give you everything. He kept that promise. By 30, he made his first million. By 35, his first billion. By 40, his mother was living in a penthouse overlooking Central Park. Private chef, personal nurse, a bedroom bigger than the apartment they used to share. Everything she'd ever sacrificed for, he gave back to her tenfold. And it still wasn't enough. Because his mother was dying. Not quickly, not dramatically, just slowly. The way old age creeps in when you've worked your body into the ground for decades. Her heart was weak. Her lungs were weaker. She needed oxygen at night, pills in the morning, a nurse on standby. And Marcus. She needed Marcus. Every day, every decision, every moment of fear. And he gave it to her. Because how could he not? But there was someone else in his life now. Her name was Diane, 36, Harvard MBA, former CFO of a Fortune 500 company. Beautiful, sharp, ambitious. The kind of woman who walked into a room and owned it. They met at a charity gala. She was giving a speech. He was half listening. And then she said something that made him laugh. Actually laugh. For the first time in months. They dated for a year before he proposed. And when he did, it was perfect. Private rooftop. String quartet. A ring that cost more than most people's houses. She said yes. Of course she said yes. Who wouldn't? But there was a problem. His mother. Not because she was cruel. Not because she hated Diane. But because she existed. And her existence took up space. Space in a house. Space in Marcus's schedule. Space in his mind. Diane didn't complain at first. She smiled through the dinners where Marcus's phone rang every 10 minutes. She nodded through the nights when he had to cancel plans because his mother had a bad episode. She stayed quiet when the wedding date got pushed back. Once, twice, 3 times. But silence has a weight to it. And Diane was starting to buckle. One night, about 6 months before the wedding, Diane tried to talk to him. They were in bed. Marcus was staring at his phone. His mother's nurse had just texted. Another scare. False alarm. Marcus. We need to talk. He put the phone down. What's wrong? When's the last time we had a full day together? Just us. He thought about it. Last month. We went to the Hamptons. We left early. Your mom called. She needed me. She always needs you. Marcus sat up. What do you want me to say, Diane? She's my mother. And I'm your fiancé. I know. Do you? He didn't answer. Because he didn't know what to say. Because the truth was, he didn't know how to choose. And so he did what he always did. He changed the subject. The wedding's in 6 months. After that, things will settle down. Diane stared at him. You really believe that? I have to. But things didn't settle down. They got worse. His mother's condition started declining faster. More hospital visits, more medications, more nurses rotating through the house. And Diane started to disappear. Not physically, but emotionally. She stopped asking Marcus about his day. She stopped trying to have dinner together. She stopped touching him. She was there, but she wasn't present. And Marcus noticed, but he didn't say anything, because saying something would mean dealing with it. And he didn't have the energy to deal with it. The breaking point came 3 weeks before the wedding. Diane was in the living room, going over seating charts with the wedding planner. Marcus's mother was in her room. The nurse had just left for a break. And then there was a crash. Diane heard it, put down the seating chart, walked to the mother's room. The older woman was on the floor. She tried to get up on her own. Her walker had tipped over. Diane stood in the doorway. Are you hurt? The mother looked up. I'm Euphine. Just help me up. Diane didn't move. Where's your nurse? She's on break. Please, just help me. Diane walked over slowly. She bent down, grabbed the mother's arm, and then the mother said something. Something quiet. Something Diane had heard a dozen times before in different words. You're not doing it right. Marcus knows how I like to be lifted. Diane froze. Excuse me? I said Marcus knows. I heard you. Diane let go of her arm. The mother looked up, confused. Diane, do you know what I gave up for him? What? I had a career, a life, friends, a future that didn't revolve around someone else's needs. Diane, I don't. And I gave it up because I loved him, because I thought we'd have a life together. The mother's face softened. You will. After the wedding. After the wedding, nothing changes. You'll still be here. You'll still need him. And I'll still be invisible. The mother tried to sit up. That's not fair. Fair? Diane's voice cracked. You want to talk about fair? I didn't ask to get old. I didn't ask to be sick. And I didn't ask to compete with a ghost. I'm not a ghost. I'm his mother. You're a weight around his neck. And mine. The mother's face went cold. Get out. Gladly. Diane turned to leave. And then the mother said it. The thing that had been simmering under every conversation. Every glance. Every passive-aggressive comment for the past year. He'll never choose you over me. Diane stopped. Turned around. What did you say? You heard me. He'll never choose you. Because he can't. Because I'm the reason he's alive. And you? You're just the woman he's marrying because he's lonely. Something inside Diane snapped. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. Like a wire pulled too tight for too long. She walked back over. Stood over the older woman. And kicked her. Not hard. But enough. Enough to make her gasp. Enough to knock her back down. Enough to prove a point. And then the door opened. Marcus. He'd come home early. A surprise. He was going to take Diane out to dinner. He stood in the doorway. His mother on the floor. His fiancée standing over her. And for a moment, no one moved. Diane turned slowly. Her face wasn't angry. It wasn't scared. It was just tired. And she said the words that would define the rest of his life. I'll kick her again, and you'll still marry me. Marcus didn't move, didn't speak, didn't react. He just stood there, staring, because part of him knew she was right. If this story is keeping you on edge, do me a favor. Like this video and drop a comment telling me, would you have intervened or would you have watched? I'll be reading every single response. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're just getting to the darkest part. Marcus finally spoke. His voice was quiet. Come, get out. Diane blinked. What? Get out. Both of you. His mother looked up. Marcus. I said get out. Diane didn't move. You're joking. Do I look like I'm joking? Marcus, You kicked my mother. She said I was nothing. And you kicked her. She's been saying it for months. In 100 different ways. And you've done nothing. So you kicked her. I defended myself. By kicking an old woman. Diane's face went red. Don't you dare. Don't you dare make me the villain here. Then what are you? I'm the woman who's been trying to love you while you give everything to someone who will never let you go. Marcus looked at his mother, then at Diane, then at the floor. Leave. Both of you. I need to think. His mother tried to stand. Marcus, please. I'll call nurse. She'll help you to your room. But, please. His mother left. Diane stayed. Marcus. He didn't look at her. Marcus, look at me. He did. And what she saw in his eyes terrified her. Not anger. Not disappointment. Just nothing. I love you, she said. I know. Then why does it feel like that's not enough? Because it's not. Diane left. And Marcus stood alone in that room for 20 minutes, staring at the spot where his mother had been on the floor, thinking about the woman he was supposed to marry in 3 weeks, thinking about the promise he made to his mother when he was 12 years old, thinking about the life he thought he'd have and the life he was actually living. He didn't sleep that night. Instead, he did something he hadn't done in years. He went through old messages, old emails, security footage from the past 6 months. He wanted to understand. How did it get this bad? When did it start? And what he found broke him. The footage showed everything. Every time Diane tried to talk to his mother and was dismissed. Every time his mother called him in the middle of a date. Every time Diane sat alone at dinner, waiting for him to come home. But also showed something else. His mother, sitting in her room, talking to her nurse. And the nurse said, she really loves him, you know? Your son. And his mother said, I know. Then why are you so hard on her? Pause. Because if she stays, I lose him. Marcus rewound the footage, played it again. Because if she stays, I lose him. His mother wasn't evil. She wasn't manipulative. She was just terrified. Terrified of being forgotten. Terrified of being replaced. Terrified of dying alone. And so she held on. To him. To every moment. To every call, every visit, every piece of attention she could get. Not because she was cruel, but because she was human. And Diane wasn't a villain either. She was just a woman who wanted to matter. Who wanted to be seen. Who wanted to be chosen. Just once. And Marcus was trapped between two people who both needed him to be something he couldn't be. A son who never left. A husband who was fully present. And he couldn't be both. 3 days later, Marcus called off the wedding. Not publicly. Not dramatically. He just called Diane and said the words, I can't marry you. Silence. Why? Because you were right. I would have married you, even after what you did. Because I'm too afraid to be alone. Marcus, but that's not love. That's desperation. And you deserve better than that. And your mother? She deserves better too. So what are you going to do? I don't know. Diane hung up, and Marcus sat in his office for 3 hours, staring at nothing. A week later, Diane moved out. No public scandal. No event. No drama. She just left. And Marcus stayed. With his mother. Not because he wanted to, but because he didn't know how not to. One night, a month after the wedding that never happened, Marcus sat with his mother in her room. She was quiet. Weaker than usual. I'm sorry, she said. For what? For ruining your life. You didn't ruin my life. I ruined your wedding. Diane ruined the wedding. You just made it impossible. His mother closed her eyes. I was scared. I know. I didn't want to lose you. I know. But I did anyway, didn't I? Marcus didn't answer. Because the truth was she was right. So what would you have done? Let me know in the comments. And if this story made you feel something, anger, sadness, doubt, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because stories like this, they're meant to start conversations. Subscribe for more stories that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about loyalty, love, and sacrifice. I'll see you in the next one. Marcus sat alone in the dark. His mother was asleep in the next room. The house was silent. And he thought about Diane, about the wedding that never happened, about the life he could have had. And he realized something. It would happen again. He'd meet someone new. He'd fall in love. And his mother would still be here, needing him. and he'd have to choose again and again and again until one of them died. So the real question is, who should it be?